Hi, good morning. This is again your Shia Rola, your digital marketer as well as your VA coach, and welcome to my channel. So, yes, right now we have already discussed meta ads. We also had done keyword research. At the same time, we did Google Ads campaign and also how to use and identify the different kinds of keyword match types and the negative keywords lists. We also discussed the IP as well as the inclusion of that so that you would know how to optimize your Google Ads. So right now, what I will be doing is we'll be discussing to you how to navigate your Google Ads dashboard. And guys, I'm sorry about my eye. I think this one it kind of got irritated earlier. But yes, due to a lot of DMs that I have received asking on how to really use the dashboard, at the same time, the newbies that actually decided to create their own Google Ads account but did not really know exactly what the buttons are for, which one to use, etc, then this video is basically created for you. So regardless if you're a new user or if you're transitioning from a previous interface, this video will walk you through on the essential features, the layout, as well as help you find what you need quickly and efficiently on the dashboard. So I will be covering the main sections, the key functionalities at the same time on how to optimize your view so that you can get a better campaign management. So just a little bit of a note. Google actually updates their dashboard or their interface every 2 years. Sometimes it can be earlier than that. So right now is 2025. If in case you're watching this video years from now, then it's possible that changes may have been made. So I hope you don't take it against me. But right now, 2025, we will be discussing that. And with the dashboard overview, we will be discussing and putting them in three sections. We will be doing the high level navigation, which would show the main categories. Then the subcategories second, which would tell us the detailed option of each high level section. And the third would be the campaign view. So yeah, without further ado, let's go and let's start. So guys, when you go directly into the Google Ads, basically, this is what you will find. Let me see. This is what you will find, okay? You will see information about you would have to actually go to give me a second, let me just work on my screen so that it fits. Okay, there you go. So there are two ways for you to go to your Google Ads account, just like what we have discussed the last time. All you have to do is go to ads.google.com. Then when you click on sign in, you would basically get directed into the dashboard. But if you don't want to do that, if you have your Gmail open, this is your Gmail. At the side here, at the upper top right corner, just beside let me just show that to you here. Just beside your picture or your email account, there's there is a menu here called Google Apps. On the Google Apps, this is kind of like the group of the things that Google actually has, like the Maps, the YouTube, the Drive, the Gemini, the Gmail, and the Gmeet. This is like a shortcut for everything. So the contacts. So what you will want it to go to is just scroll down and you should see here the Google Ads and just click on that. So guys, if you have time, work and check this out on all of these apps here because that's really helpful. But for now, let's just click on the Google Ads, and when you click on the Google Ads, you let's see. Okay. When you click on the Google Ads, this is what you basically would see. So this is what you call your overview. On the overview of your account, you would actually have here a search bar wherein you can actually search for campaigns or a page. You would also have here the appearance. So people that has issues with, let's say, an issue with their eyes, you can actually choose to have it large, medium, small, or extra small. So it's just like this on this the zoom part. That's basically the appearance. You also have the refresh button, the help, as well as the notification. So the notification is one of the most important part there because it would tell you if there had been changes on the account, about the budget, if you're nearing your budget, if your account got suspended, or if there's any disapproved ad. That's basically there. Okay, so this is basically the overview. And on the overview as well, you would see here all the types of the campaigns that you have. So if this shows all campaigns here, basically this would show you all the campaigns that you have in here. So it would be showing here. It's called overview because you don't have to actually look into the actual campaign itself. You would see exactly what you have already in your account. So for example, here, let's select this campaign. If I select that, the overview of that campaign will be here. You would see the type, the search, the budget. At the same time, you would actually see the clicks and you can even custom the dates here. So after that, you would actually have in here the account, the ads, the budget, technically everything at a glance. It's called overview because you would see it at a glance. If there's a recommendation, if there's an ad group, how much CTR they have, as well as clicks, the costing, where they're being shown, for example. You would even see here keywords. Right now, I don't have any account that's active or campaign that's active. So basically, you don't see that much here. But yes, overview basically means you would see at a glance. So if you don't want to select a campaign, just do that because this is where I go to because it would tell me exactly what's going on. And guys, these are things that you can interchange. So for example, you have your impression. If your impression is not what you're looking for. Let's say, for example, what you wanted to have on your overview would be, let's say, the clicks. Then, let's say, for example, the conversion. You can click this drop down, and from the impression, you actually can change it with conversion. So you would see, oh, how many clicks? Oh, how many converted? How much is it average per click? Then for the cost, you can actually change it with, instead of just cost, you can actually change it with cost for conversion. So meaning I have paid this much per conversion. So you would know how much you're actually paying per lead. Let's say you have a lead in here. So this is basically at a glance. So it would tell you what you would wanted to know without going here. Now, if this is not enough on your screen, if you wanted to optimize your workspace, you just have to click this burger icon here. So if you click this, the overview part here gets totally removed. So if it's not there, then you would have a much easier workspace in here. So that's what you call optimizing your workspace. Now, if you wanted to get it back, just have to click this burger icon and it would show. All right. So now let's go to the high level navigation that you have. When we say high level, this is basically the level. So we have here the campaign, the goals, the tools, the billing, and the admin. These are the high level campaigns that you actually needed to know. So the create button that you have, this is a prominent button that you have. It would be consistently available across all sections because this is the gateway for you to create new campaigns, ad groups, and your ad element. So that's the reason why the create button would always be here. It won't go away regardless of what you do. Now let's go to campaigns. So on the campaigns, if you hover your mouse on the campaigns, this is basically what you would see. On the campaign side, this is where you would manage your advertising initiative. So this is where you would create your campaigns, and this is where you would see that. Remember, we have a filter for the campaigns, but if you press it in here, it would actually do the same. So it's something like that. So it would just gonna show you the campaigns here. It's not on the overview anymore. Same thing with the ad groups. If you wanted to check just all the ad groups of all the campaigns that you have, you can press it in here. Okay. At the same time, you have an option to, let's say, select a campaign. So if you select a campaign, and if you're still in the ad group, it would just gonna show you the ad groups of the selected campaign. So basically, that's what differs. So if you wanted to see all the ad groups regardless of the campaign, just don't change this, and this is what you will see. So you would see here the campaign, the status, what's the target, CPA, the ad type, the average. These are the metrics. So you would see it on your dashboard. It is actually the same with the ads. So the ads does the same, but if I click that, nothing would show because I don't have any running ads. But yes, this is basically where you would wanted to see everything. Okay, so that's basically what the button for the campaign does. One more important part here is basically the insights and the report. So in this insights in the report, this will actually help you because under insights, it will tell you what are the things that you can actually do for your campaign. Okay, let's say for example, if let's say what keyword you want to use, etc. For the auction insight, this is mainly to show you the percentage of, let's say, a keyword, let's say painting renovation. So if you select a campaign here, the painting renovation that we have, and you click on the auction insights, it will tell you the auction part. Let's say for the painting keyword, how much percentage in 100 are you getting for that? Because it would tell you if, let's say, your competitor is actually being shown and eating 80% of this insight for this specific keyword. This is basically where it would show up. For the search term, this is also very important because this will help you identify what are the terms that people use when they saw your ad. So that led them to get into your ad. So it's actually here. So right now we're using keywords, let's say here. If I They have keywords here, right? Living room painting. On the search term, if I click in here, perhaps I would say I would see things like how much is the living room painting. So if I click that, or people if search for that and get lead to my ad, and it actually connected, became a lead and became a paying customer, then I may wanna work and get that specific search term as part of my keyword, because that keyword is actually helping me create leads. So the search term will actually tell you what are the people searching for that's leading to your ad. Then the when and where ads showed. Let me just select all the campaigns. The when and where the ad shown, basically, this is also important because it will tell you, for example, when the day, the time your ads is basically shown and getting the most clicks, and where, what devices, it may be computer, tablet, and mobile, because we have those three: computer, tablet, and mobile. So it would show you the data of where your ads are getting shown. Then it would also help you identify which location. So especially if you have a very big location, let's say United States is your location, it would show you which state got the most clicks on your ad. at the same time with city. Let's say, for example, you're only in a one state, which city. This is very important. Okay, so this is basically for the campaign. And under campaign, we have more things. We have your asset and we have the audience, keywords, and content, which is one of the best part when it comes to campaign. So under this, it would show you the keywords that you're working on. It will tell you the audience if you wanted to, let's say, revisit the audience that you're targeting. At the same time, the location that you have set, the ad schedule. If you, let's say, after you click on the insights and reports and it show you that your ad is getting the most clicks every weekend, then you may want to schedule more budgets for that on the weekend and um, remove or don't show the ad on the days that you don't have that much click. So basically, it just depends on your strategy. But this is helpful because that would help you optimize. And another thing under campaign that I really like is the change history. So as a freelancer, I have known quite a few people who got removed or who got fired because either something changed super drastically on the account that got the account compromised or that cost too much when the account got changed. Let's say the budget was suddenly changed from $500 per month to, let's say, 2,000, those kind of stuff. So the change history would show you everything on the changes that was made on the account. So for example, in here, it will show them like this person on this email actually created a negative keywords list or they applied it on this specific campaign. This person actually added three negative broad match keyword, for example, and to which campaign. So this kind of stuff. So if you are a freelancer, this is one of the things that you really have to know, because if you accidentally change something and you don't know what it is, you can actually go here so that you would see it. Because if you see it and if you can't, let's say, undo it, because it's this one can have something that's undo, but this one says can't be undone, then you can make a report already to your, let's say, boss or to the business owner that this changes where that actually happened and that you can actually change it back or you want to do something about it, etc., etc. The reason is because you wanted to get accountability. At the same time, if there were changes that you did not do that cost the business owner more money, more spend, or got the account compromised, at least you would know who did that because it would tell you the user, the date, and the time. So on my end, I actually have a spreadsheet of the changes that I made because it's important for me to basically track them. Because if you are a freelancer who got introduced to, let's say, a business and that business has already a team, then most likely they either may think that you're not good enough and they would make changes, then they're just gonna point it to you. Now, that's not how human being work, I know, and it may be, let's say, not all of the people would do that, but it's always okay to just know exactly where you can find those changes, okay? Better be safe than sorry. Okay, so that's basically for the campaign. Now, for the goal, you can actually click on the goal here. On the goal, this is actually where you define and track your conversion objectives. So under conversions, you would see the summary of all the conversions that you have. You can actually create the value rules, the settings, etc. So let's click on the summary. So on the summary, it would tell you every goal that was set on the account. So right now, I don't have anything in here, but this were the goals that I created. This is basically the goals because when you're in a campaign, there should always be a goal. Is it gonna be a lead form submit? Is that gonna be calls from ads? Is that gonna be let's say a book appointment, for example, etc. So this is gonna be where you would see that. Now, if you wanted to, let's say, create a new conversion action, this is gonna be where you would do that. It's gonna be here, the create conversion action. Okay. At the same time, on in this page, you would also see here the value rules, the custom variables, etc., and the settings. So everything basically regarding conversion would be here. Anyway, the settings I've actually used this for the ads because if you will be setting a call only ads, for example, this is gonna be where you would be doing that. You can choose which one you wanted to use as your conversion, etc. Also the upload. So let's say you have a campaign and it's basically a book appointment. So technically, if they book an appointment, what would happen is that would generate one lead, right? However, you don't exactly know if the lead converted, etc. But if your boss is, let's say, asking for what's my return on ad spent, etc., or what's my ROI, this is what you were gonna do: the upload. You can upload an Excel file of the leads that was generated here, and you can put like a value in them. Let's say the value, let's say one lead cost you $200, but the seti this when they signed up, they actually, let's say, pay $500 plus, let's say, there's a monthly fee that they will get. So if you put it here, what will happen is you would be able to have a much comprehensive return on ad spend as well as return on an investment report. So because you would have a value, because right now what you can only track here is the leads, but leads can be closed, or sometimes there are leads that just kept being a lead because the sales team did not get to close it. So you can upload it here. For the measurement, there's only one here, which is the attribution. Attribution is just gonna tell you the path of how the conversion happened. So for example, in here, so interaction. So is it gonna be a first interaction part, or is that lead second already? They saw the ad again and converted on the second time, and it would also tell you which devices is actually getting most of the leads, because we have to accept it nowadays. Most people actually uses mobile to search for anything. Even booking appointment is done via mobile. So at least you would know if you have, let's say, landing pages, you want to make sure that they're mobile friendly. So you would see it in here, the conversion path, the path metrics, etc. It's actually going to be in here. So the top assisting campaigns or the assisted conversion, it would just going to tell you if the conversion was made with the help of, let's say, for example, an organic campaign, etc. So this is going to be for the goal. Now let's move on to the tools. Under tools, we have few, but I'm actually just using the planning as well as the shared library. On the planning, you would see the keyword planner, the most used planner, because whenever you create an ad, you have to make sure that you are targeting the right keywords. So the keyword planner will actually help you identify how much traffic specific keyword brings, how much would gonna be the cost per click if you get that, if it's a low, mid, or high, what's the competition, etc. So I have created a video about keyword research using Uber Suggest as well as Keyword Planner. I hope you could actually look into that in one of my videos. At the same time, the rest I don't really use. But the shared library is one of the things that you use. So if you have worked with, let's say, a company or an agency, and you get to handle multiple campaigns and multiple ad groups in one campaign, then you would really be using shared library. So I had this instance wherein I work with one account, but one account has 15 campaigns. There's too many campaigns, 15 campaigns, and every campaign would have actually 5 or 6 ad groups. So technically, how many is that? Like 16 times 15. And if I needed to add, let's say, a negative keyword on all of them, I don't want to spend my time getting into the ad groups, clicking it one by one, and adding the negative keyword. So the shared library is actually for that. We have the exclusion list, which will help you create a negative list that could be account level or campaign level. When we say campaign level, so you can add the keyword per campaign manually. But if you do that, all the ad groups that's under that campaign would have that specific, let's say, negative keywords. This is depending on what kind of things you're adding. So let's say, and for the account level would be for every campaign that's under this account. Okay. So it would be much easier, especially if you're handling a lot of ad groups and a lot of campaigns. You don't want to use 8 hours of your time just to really add it one by one. Because I did that before and it's really time consuming since I don't really know how to use a shared library before. So you would also see here the asset library where let's say for example asset library is about your logos, about your site links and your call outs. Let's say the phone number, etc. So normally, when you create a campaign, if you remember when we created a campaign on our Google Ads tutorial the last time, there was let's say call me or call this phone number for a free trial, etc. Those are what you call site links or check services or check FAQs. Those are site links. So now, if you create that under the asset library, you can actually add that as a campaign level. So all of the campaigns that you create, regardless of the ad groups, would have that specific assets on them. The only problem though is that when I did that, I've encountered because there are some campaigns that I did not want it. So if you have this asset library on a campaign level, it may not work. So you actually have to just think of the pros and cons there. But other than that, everything is good. So for this, other than that, one of the things that I've actually used is the troubleshooting because I have worked with an agency that handles suspensions and appeals. So the policy manager is actually going to tell you what kind of reason why your ad would disapprove or why your account got suspended. Remember on the notification earlier, there was the information of what happened with your account, which was one of the reasons why I love the notification part next just to refresh in the appearance in the upper top right corner. Because if you get notified and you don't know what that means, you just have to go to troubleshooting in policy manager or the ad preview and diagnostic, and it would tell you what policy you missed or what policy you actually had to work on. So you always have to check this, especially for some of the business types. It's very, very hard that Google is really, really hard on. For example, for healthcare, for anything mental or let's say medicines and drugs, those kind of stuff, and even spiritual. So for religion, etc. So you have to make sure that you're not getting violations on that. So on the bulk action, what I only like here would be the scripts. So the scripts is technically something that you use so that it would automate everything. And yeah, you have the budgets as well as the business data. So for the budgets, I only like the shared budget. So every campaign, you actually allocate, let's say, for one campaign, you allocate a specific budget per ad group under that campaign. So the shared budget will what it does is that when you click this, you do have an option to put, let's say, a specific amount and it gets shared all through the ad groups on one campaign. Or you can actually share the budget on all the campaigns that you have. Let's say you have three campaigns. Instead of putting, let's say, $300 each, you actually just put 1,000 and you put it on the shared budget. So depending on which campaign performs the best, it would be the one that would get the most of the budget. The only problem with that though is you're not gonna be able to do manual adjustment anymore. Like let's say you want to lower the budget for this, etc., because it is already a shared budget. So you always have to think carefully if you want to use the shared budget. Only do that if you are a person who doesn't really want to do optimization when it comes to the budgets manually. So yeah, we have the billing part. So this is the fourth one. On the billing, it would just gonna show you the summary, the billing, the payment methods, etc. So this will show you your payments. On this account, I don't have a payment method, but if you wanna, let's say, change your payment method, change your credit card, it's gonna be where you would go to. At the same time, if for example you wanted to see, let's say you have added $5,000 for this month, you would actually see it here on your billing activity how much of that 5,000 had already been used up. And it would also show to you if you needed to add more funds before all the funds gets used. So if you are a freelancer, then your company actually hires you, most of the time they won't put funds because they would put credit cards, so it would be automatically billed. But for agencies, normally you will have a specific budget that they will put, and you will really have to be the one who will manage and make sure that the spend is really within the range of what you have promised to them on your discussion or on your strategy. So all of that could be seen here. The advertising verification that you can see here, this is gonna be if you are going to use Google Ads, you have to make sure that your account is verified. So yeah, that's basically it for the billing. And for the admin, you do have four things here. So on the admin, on the account settings, let me just see. So on the account settings, it's just gonna if you click on the account settings, it's gonna show you here. It would just gonna tell you your account name, the time zone, etc. Everything that's on your account. So for the preference, this is one of the things that you wanted to look into, for example, because you wanted to make sure that your display language and number format is okay, especially if your customer is non-English. You can't really go into a Google Ads account that's not English and you can't really, you know, understand anything. Because I have worked with people from Slovakia and the Netherlands, and some is from the Israel, wherein the accounts that they have are kind of jargon to me. So you don't want to go here on top and just click on translate to English all the time. Because what would happen is sometimes not all of the things gets translated. So that's what you're gonna check. Next is the notification. One of the things that you really have to make sure that you turn on so that you would get notified regarding this. So we have the performance reporting, the bulk action that was done. If someone did a test, for example, for the security, if someone accessed your account, etc. So you want to be advised of everything that's going on with your account, and this is going to be where you would find those. And access and security. So on the access and security, you would see here me as the main user. But if I hire, let's say, a Google Ads manager to help me manage my account, let's say this is a business, then this is where I will add them. All you have to do is click on the ad, then you click on the email, then click on the never if you want the access to never expire, or you can actually set something. So I would say put it on never because most of the time business owners don't really check this, so it would really be troublesome if your Google Ads manager got their access expired without you knowing because you actually set it for, let's say, 1 or 2 months, and you've actually gonna stay with them for a long time. And in here, there is an option for you to choose if you only want the people to view reports, check the billing as well, or etc. It's actually in here. So most business owners would actually give you a standard access so that you can actually create campaigns, etc. But you can't edit this user and etc. on the account because if you give someone an access for admin, and what happened is they would have this option here, the remove access. So what if I hired, my name is Cheryl, I hired, let's say, Nicole. Then Nicole, for some reason, click remove access because they want to take over your account, etc. Or they click that by mistake, whatever. So you would lose access. So all you have to do is make sure that you have to give them just the standard access, because the standard access can actually do everything aside from editing the user and the manager. You see the manager here. The manager is actually used if your Google Ads account has become an MCC or multi client account. So that means with one Google Ad account, I would have Rolla Digital PH, I would have Rolla Apparel, I would have Rolla Foods, for example, if I have multiple accounts. So it's set, and the security, of course, would be for your email. So that's basically it for the navigation. So just like what I said, the high level one that we have is basically the main categories at the side, the five, the campaign, the goal, the billing, and the admin, and the subcategories that we'll click into, and the campaign view. So this basically how, and you just needed to know about the Google Ads. And again, Google Ads changes every 2 months, I mean 2 years. Sometimes it can be fast. Right now, I believe they're working on the Google AI overview. So it could also create another part on that on the dashboard. So what I want you to do is I would suggest for you to, create sample ads on your account so that you would know what's going to happen, where you want to see them, etc. When I started using Google Ads, I actually created a campaign for 7 days for a digital product that I have. So I'm actually selling a portfolio wherein people can actually buy it online so that they can just edit it so that they could have their own portfolio. So what I did is I sold that using Google Ads for 7 days. I just put a budget of 50 pesos a day. The reason is because my goal is to sell, but at the same time, if no people buy the product, I would still have data like the impression, which device was used to view it, where it was showed, when, etc. So it actually helped me really go into, oh, okay, this is how Google Ads work. So I know I have invested a lot on that. I actually invested 350 pesos for a week. But for me, that amount is actually very, very small because what it gave me is bigger than just 350. It actually gave me an actual experience of how Google Ads work and what you would see in your account. Because sometimes we do have a lot of freelancer or beginners that says they've actually known how to use Google Ads, but don't really have the experience. It's kind of like their first time really seeing the dashboard. And if you are getting paid already by a company to do your Google Ads and you're not doing it very well because you don't know how it works, then that's gonna be something that's on you. Okay? Don't offer a service or a product that you're not really capable of yet because they are spending and investing, and what you can do is really reciprocate. So invest. Now, if you wanted to know more about the changes or updates of Google, you can actually go to their website, Google, and you can subscribe to the newsletters so that you can get notified, or you can also subscribe and follow them on their LinkedIn account. Since LinkedIn is mostly for business, normally they do create and post a lot of tips on how to do your ads, how can you be shown more on Google AR overview now, because right now when you search for something, you don't actually see the sponsored ad right away. You actually see the Google AI overview. So they post a lot about those stuff, and they post a lot about updates. In fact, they also post about webinars or trainings that they do for free that you can join. Now, that is something that you can do on your own so that you can really cater more and really be more an expert when it comes to the niche that you are offering. But for me, I just had to make sure that you know how, or basically how the dashboard works for Google Ads, so that you know where to see and where to click them. Because when I started, all I thought is that everything will be shown in the PC. I didn't know that it would actually have a data for mobile and tablet as well. So I started, guys, with my Google stint as a on a Google Ads grant account. So I use grants. It's Google Ads grant is like a ads for nonprofit organizations. So Google gives them like 10 grand per month that they can spend so that it will help their, organization, let's say, either gets volunteers and donations. And there's a lot of Google grants that actually hires newbies or freelancer, because technically they are not going to pay you. Okay, so and in exchange, you can actually use your account to run their campaigns so you can get experience at the same time, really hone your skills. Of course, don't use it as totally newbie. You have to also make sure that you know the basics of Google's at the same time, really how it works. So yeah, that's all for me. I really appreciate, guys, especially those people who sent me a message on my Facebook page, as well as DM'd me about this. I know that we went directly to the Google Ads campaign. So yeah, this is for you. And if you have requests, if you think that I should do a specific video or a tutorial on topics that you want to be part of, just send me a message. You can also comment them on the videos. Guys, comment it here, like and subscribe so that we get pushed further to the to YouTube's algorithm, so that we can get more views at the same time, more reach. And yes, that's all for me. I hope you guys learned something about the dashboard today. So yeah, thank you for being with me and for learning more about the dashboard. Thank you and have a great day. This is again your Shiel Rola.